ridiculous.
He just makes a judgment call and says, all annuities are bad.
Oh no.
Complete embellishment. Today we're going to be reviewing a Dave Ramsey video. What is an annuity and how does it work? Here we go.
Tanya's in Illinois. Hey, Tanya, how are you?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call, Dave. I'm so pleased to speak with you.
You too. What's up?
Well, I'm hoping you can guide me. I think I've made a big mistake, but this has to do with an old 403B that I've had. Nothing's being contributed to it, but earlier in the year, back in April, we went to the financial planning services that my company sponsors and pays for, and they did a full workup, and I had been kind of having sleepless nights because my value would go from, I'd lose like $20,000, and then I'd get, anyway.
So this is pretty common. People have 401ks, 403bs, 457s. They're concerned because they see the value of their 401k, 403b, 457 going up and down. What Tanya is dealing with is very common. One thing that you can do, and a lot of people don't know this about 401ks or 403bs, most of the time they don't have a cash account or a money market option. So if the market's crashing and you don't want to have a bunch of loss, you don't really have the ability to put it in cash or a money market. However, there is often a stable value fund. And if you call them and ask, what stable value funds do I have as an option to invest in, or something as safe or conservative as possible? You can do that. Most people are not even aware that they can do that, and so they just think, well, I have to be in the market. This is something you can do. Call them and ask for the stable value fund or something that is as conservative as possible. Let's keep listening.
So they suggested that I move some money, $166,000, into a traditional annuity within my 403b retirement account, guaranteed. So right now, 30% of my $577,000 that's in there is now in this annuity. And now that I've started listening to you, we're following your steps, I'm starting to realize that probably was a huge mistake.
Yeah, it was.
And I don't know what to do.
Okay. First of all, Dave doesn't know anything about the product. There are good annuities and there are bad annuities. However, Dave instantly writes off the annuity and says it's a bad idea. To me, that's not fair, because what if the fixed annuity was giving her 5% per year guaranteed? She doesn't need the money, plus it has liquidity options, plus no fees. What if it is a fixed index annuity where you can participate in the market upside without the downside? What if he was paying her 7%? He doesn't know what type of an annuity. He just makes a judgment call and says, all annuities are bad. Let's keep listening.
I would contact them and see if they can reverse that and put it back into mutual funds.
Okay, because they said it would be like a 10-year process of taking, a 10th out each year. And so then that's...
Oh, so they put you in something inside of a retirement account with a surrender charge.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, these guys are absolute screwballs.
So surrender charges. Do annuities have surrender charges? Yes, they do. Depending upon the product, some annuities can have 2-year surrender charges. Sometimes they can have 10 years. Sometimes they can have 14-year surrender charges. You have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of the money? So if the purpose is for safety or liquidity, if you need access to it whenever, probably not a good idea to put it into an annuity. If the purpose is for income, well, there are some incredible income products that do grow at massive levels. If the market goes up, if the market goes down, you don't lose a penny. And then when you turn on income, it provides you an income for the rest of your life, and sometimes that income increases every year. If it's for growth, there are growth products out there, but they won't have complete liquidity. Usually you can get 10% out per year. Sometimes you can get 20% out without any surrender charges. But here's the deal. I don't know how old Tanya was, but if she's not that old and she doesn't need the money, an annuity may be a good option, especially if we're going into a bear market. So again, throwing the baby out with the bathwater here, I don't think that's super wise, but Dave has his reasons. I think they're a little biased, frankly, because he sells leads to financial advisors, and that's, well, we won't go there. But he does sell leads to financial advisors. I could buy those leads from people who call in and say, I need a Dave Ramsey approved financial advisor is going to want to put it into the market and get their fee income. So he has a little bit of a bias. He's not being super fair to the annuity. There are bad annuities, and I do agree with Dave. There are some bad ones. Usually the bad ones are variable annuities. The reason why variable annuities are, in my opinion, terrible is because they're the highest fee-based product in the market. So you're gonna pay anywhere between 3.5% and 5.5% in fees per year, which is insane. Plus you can lose your money if the market goes down. Plus there's surrender charges. Plus if there is an income, it doesn't increase. So I'm not a huge fan of variable annuities. I don't like them, wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. But there are good ones that don't have fees. You do have liquidity. It just depends on the purpose of the money. Let's keep listening.
It's in my 403B, and it's some kind of retirement.
So, find out what your penalties are, what your surrender charges are, and you may be stuck there. But the other thing you got to weigh it against is you're probably making 2% on this thing instead of 10 or 12.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. Okay, you're probably making 2% rather than 10 or 12. Here's the deal. Yes, you can make 10 to 12% in the market, but you also have to factor in fees. According to Forbes, you're paying 2.1% in fees collectively. That's for the advisor fees and for the expense ratios or the account fees. You're not going to earn 10 to 12% each year. In fact, if you look at from 2000 till 2022, the S&P didn't even earn that, not even close. 90% of financial advisors can't even beat the S&P 500. 10 to 12%, that is a massive stretch. It's also a massive stretch to say you're only going to earn 2%, especially in this interest rate environment. Right now, the fixed interest options right now are around 7% on annuity. So that's another stretch as well. Let's keep listening.
Exactly.
And so if your surrender charge is 10%, take it and move it and put it in something that makes 10% more the first year, you recoup.
Oh, golly. This is another. Where else are you going to make 10% in the first year? If the market's having a bellwether year, the government's printing money again, yeah, you may earn 10%, maybe 20%, but you're not going to earn 10% per year. And that's frustrating because we look at financial statements all day long and people rarely earn 10% in a year.
Okay, gotcha. That makes
net
sense.
of fees.
I don't know what your surrender charge is, though. The stupid thing might be 40%. I don't know.
So call them and...
Okay. Surrender charges rarely are more than 10%. So for him to say 40%, that's an embellishment. Again, he's got his bias. You're never going to have a 40% surrender charge. The most you'll have is like 12. And that's if it's like a 12-year annuity or a 14-year annuity. I've never seen anything more than 12%. Most surrender charges start at 10, and every single year it's 9, 8, 7, 6. So after the 10th year, there's no surrender charges. And by the way, just so you know how surrender charges work, when you give the insurance company the money for them to invest, the longer that they have to play with your money and make interest on it, the more fair they're going to be. And some of those trade-offs, because it is a trade-off and it's not for everybody, is you have complete safety of principal. So your principal is contractually guaranteed to never go down, as long as it's not a variable annuity. The second guarantee is that you can participate in market upside without the downside. So if the market goes up, your money goes up. If the market goes down, you don't lose a penny if it's an indexed annuity. If it's a fixed annuity, you get a fixed rate of return each year guaranteed, and it's often a lot higher than any CDs. So it is a trade-off. The insurance company is saying, hey, you're letting us play with your money, and in return, we're going to give you competitive advantages that you're not going to get anywhere else. That is the trade-off. For some people, they love that trade-off. For others, they don't. Obviously, Dave hates annuities because he can't sell leads to any financial advisors for annuities. He doesn't do that. But for him to say a 40% surrender charge, that is complete embellishment.
And ask them about surrender
charges.
No,
tell them that you are really upset now that you learn what it is they actually sold you, that they put you in a surrender charge product inside of a retirement account, which is absolutely screwed up.
So a couple things. Any person who does sell an annuity, they do need to disclose that there's surrender charges. I agree with Dave here. If there is surrender charges, they need to be disclosed. If they're not disclosed, that is a problem. But frankly, 99% of people who sell annuities, they do disclose that because they don't want to get in trouble themselves. So usually that's not the case. Again, Dave is very aggressive against annuities, as you can tell.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you got 2 sets of penalties on this money now if you need to get to it.
Right.
The government and these idiots. Yeah, so no.
Right.
Okay, so that's not true.
It's false.
Because you would have a penalty if you got into your 401k or 403b anyway if you're below 59 and a half. You can tell he's definitely against annuities, and he's skewing things to try to hit his point. You know, you do have a surrender charge, it sounds like, Tanya, but no, you would have a penalty if you got into your money before 59 and a half anyway.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but let's see what they can do to get you out of it. Tell them you're not happy with them, and we want to get you moved, and see if you can lean on them a little bit and get it moved, and then get some advice from somebody else before you make any more moves, and like a SmartVestor Pro that has a clue what they're doing. So,
wow, he just said it. Like a SmartVestor Pro.
Like a SmartVestor Pro.
SmartVestor Pro. SmartVestor Pro.
Oh, see, the thing is, he wants you to go through him, you to find that financial advisor who is a SmartVestor Pro, because he makes income from that. And that's a big part of his income stream. Listen, I like Dave Ramsey. He's got a lot of good things to say. I really appreciate what he talks about with debt. I think that it's very wise and you should follow it. I just don't agree with him about annuities. In fact, the majority of people these days are finding, in light of the volatility that we've had recently, that annuities can be an increasingly competitive alternative to the market. Doesn't mean you need to put all your eggs in it, but it is a great way for you to receive income in retirement without any loss. Obviously, Dave doesn't like that. We know why. If you guys do want to learn about annuities, the good, the bad, the ugly, if you'd like to learn how maybe it could have a place in your portfolio, maybe it is kind of nice to not have to pay any fees, have liquidity, be earning 5 to 7% per year guaranteed, have an income that increases to offset inflation, and maybe even have an upfront bonus to offset any losses that you've taken already. If you would like to learn more about that, you're going to want to click on the video above where we talk about in depth the benefits of certain types of annuity products to see if it's a good fit for you. We'll see you on that video.